Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode with Ralph. Hope you're fine, dear lovely IELTS candidates. Well, today is going to be our first session working on IELTS Academic Reading. So, we'll start with some fundamentals of IELTS Academic Reading, and we'll also at the end of this session, we'll analyze types of questions in IELTS reading, right? So, first of all, I want to talk about scoring of academic reading. As you can see this chart, this shows how you can score your band score. For example, if you answer from 30 up to 32 questions correctly, you will get 7. And in order to get 7.5, you have to answer 33 and 30 or 34 questions, right? So this chart is very important if you want to know what your scoring is all about, right? Now, there are some basics that you have to know about reading, right? There are 3 passages and you only have 60 minutes total to answer, right? So only 20 minutes for each passage. And there are 13 up to 14 questions for each reading passage, right? And all questions are variations of multiple choice or fill blank, right? And the level of English required in all these passages gets progressively more difficult. So your first reading will be much easier than for example, than the passage 3, all right? And the examiners created questions from only 1 or 2 sentences from a passage, right? So you don't need to read the whole paragraph. And you only have 1.5 minutes, all right? 1.5 minutes, or 90 seconds per question, right? Now, each question, remember, is worth 1 point. So don't waste your precious time doing difficult questions first, right? And there is no extra time for transferring your answers on the answer sheet, so be very careful. You have to write the correct answers in your answer sheet, all right? And you must use correct spelling and grammar. This is very important. I've seen a lot of students, they have found the answer, but they didn't know how to write the correct word. Maybe they have missed I or E or a vowel sound and they've lost mark, all right? So this is very important. And, essentially, this is a test of whether you can understand synonyms. The reading part is all about your knowledge about synonyms. If you are well informed and you know the synonym of the words, you can definitely get 8 band score or even 8.5 or even 9, all right? So the reading passage is all about synonym. IELTS reading is a test for only 2 things. Can you find the part of the text that has the answer, or do you understand that part of the text? This is what IELTS reading is all about. Now, there are some common mistakes that I've seen so many students make. The first one is reading too much text from the passage and applying extra information to a question, all right? This is one mistake. Now I'm going to give some solutions for these mistakes. Or the second one is spending too much time on the answer, on one answer, right? So if you can find the answer, you can just leave it out and go to the next question, right? The third mistake is changing the answer from how it appears in the reading passage. By this, I mean plurality and abbreviations. So sometimes you see that the noun is singular and you change it into plural. That is totally wrong. Don't make this mistake, all right? Or sometimes you see a word, all right? For example, the United Nations, and you write abbreviation for that, the UN. Again, this is another mistake that I've seen the students make, right? The next mistake is reading the passage before the questions. Remember, first of all, you have to read the questions first and then read the passage, all right? Another mistake is doing the difficult questions before the easy ones. I will talk about the level of questions, which questions are easier to answer. So you have to start with those questions, right? The next mistake is not writing the answers on the answer sheet in a timely manner. Another mistake is only searching for exact keywords rather than synonym language. This is very important. So don't try to look for the exact keyword. You may not find it in the text. Another mistake is reading every single word. All right, it's totally time consuming. And the last mistake is not understanding the question. Students who do not understand the question will definitely not be able to find the correct answer, right? So you have, first of all, to understand the question, what the question is about, right? Now, there are 4 keys to succeed in IELTS academic reading. The first one is vocabulary. You need to know IELTS vocabulary, and especially synonyms. You can find a list of words on the internet, a list of difficult words on the internet that are related to IELTS reading vocabulary. Right? Try to read those words. Those words can definitely helpful. And I've seen that so many words are repeated in IELTS exams. Right? So, for example, you can find this specific word in previous IELTS tests too. Right? So this is very important. The second key to success is IELTS scan. So what do I mean? It means that you need to be able to identify keywords in a question and then scan for the synonyms of those keywords in the passage, right? The third key is time management. You only have 1.5 minutes per question, so don't waste your precious time looking for keywords, all right? And the fourth key to success is question strategy. You need to know how to answer different types of questions, right? Now, let's just start talking about our types of questions, all right, in IELTS. There are 3 main questions, and there are 14 types of questions. The first main question type is those questions which are always in order. Always in order. So what do I mean by this? It means that when you find the answer for the first question in first paragraph, you definitely know that the second question is after that, right? Or, for example, when you find the answer for the third question in second paragraph, the answer for the fourth question is not in the previous paragraph. So these types of questions are always in order. The first one is fill in the blank questions. They're always in order. The second one is multiple choice questions, always in order. The third one is short answer. Short answer questions are always in order. And the fourth question type is yes, true, no, or not given types of questions, which are always in order. These 4 question types are always in order. The second main type of question is mostly in order. There are some question types that are mostly in order, but not always. The first one is flowcharts. Flowcharts questions are mostly in order. Remember that. The second is sentence completion. Sentence completion questions are mostly in order. The third one is table. The fourth one is diagram. And the fifth one is summary. Right? So these 5 question types are mostly in order. And there are 5 question types that are not in order. The first of them is matching, which is one of the most difficult questions. The second one is classification. The third one is headings. The fourth one, pick 2 up to 4 from list. And the fifth one is paragraph location. Paragraph location, believe me, is the most difficult question type in IELTS rating. This type of question is only for those candidates who want to get 8, 8.5, or 9. So if you do not have time, and if you think that you are, let's say, intermediate level or upper intermediate level, so don't answer this type of question, paragraph location, right? And also, if you think that you have to, you just need to get 7, so you can spend your time, you can allocate your time on easier questions, right? So now it's time to work on different types of questions. We just want to get to know what those types of questions are. Starting with fill in the blank. As you can see, this is a type of fill in the blank question. As I said, it's always in order. So try to answer this type of question first. It's pretty easy. Finding the keywords are pretty easy too. So you can start with this type of question. The second type of question is multiple choice. As you can see, this is a multiple choice type of question. And it is always in order, this type of question. The next one is short answer. This is a kind of short answer type of question, right? And it's always in order. Finding a keyword is pretty easy in these question types, right? The next one is yes, no, not given type of question, right? As you can see, you're pretty well informed of this type of question. You have seen before, and you know what to do. And again, finding keywords in this type of question is pretty easy. The next one is flowchart. As I said before, it's mostly in order, right? Mostly in order. So you may see that you may, for example, sometimes see that it is not in order, right? The next type of question is sentence completion. Sentence completion. This is an example of sentence completion type of question. It's mostly in order. Finding keywords is a little bit difficult, but it's not that much difficult, all right? So our next one is diagram. As you can see here, this is a kind of diagram. It's mostly in order. It's a little bit tricky and challenging, all right? So it can be your second priority in answering this type of question. So you can first start with the easiest ones, all right? And the next one is table. Again, as you can see, this is a type of table question. For example, mostly tables are about tests and findings, or the scientists and their findings, all right? And, finding keywords and also synonym language in this type of question is a little bit tricky and challenging. And most of the times, in 90% circumstances, the exact word is not mentioned in the text. It's always, not always, almost always the keyword, right? So beware of this part. The next part is summary, right? It's mostly in order. So the summary is maybe the production of something or a scientist's view. And sometimes students think that the summary is only about one paragraph. No, it's most of the times about 4 paragraphs. So the idea of 4 paragraphs is summarized in 1 paragraph, as you can see here. So beware of this part and beware of the trick here, all right? Again, using synonym language can help you, but most of the times, synonym word is used in the text. So beware. The next type of question is matching. Matching is not in order. It's never in order. So the matching can be about a scientist and his or her ideas, right? So you have to match them, right? It can be about reason and the result that you have to match them, right? The next type of question is classification. Oh, one of the most difficult question types in IELTS. You have to classify something with something else. The result, right? The reason and the result of something, right? This type of question is mostly in order, but not all the time, right? Our next type of question is headings. You have to choose headings from the list of headings for a specific paragraph. It's not in order, right? And we'll talk about later in our next part, we'll talk about how to answer this type of question, how to find keywords, right? The next type of question is pick from list. For example, you have to write correct letters, all right, in 2 questions or 3 questions, and you have to pick 2 or 3 from the list that are mentioned by the writer in the passage. Again, this is one of the most difficult question parts in IELTS academic rating because this question type is not in order, and sometimes you have to read maybe the whole text, right? So this can be a little bit challenging and tricky. Later, we'll work on answering this part too, so don't worry. And the last question type is paragraph location, which is the most difficult question type in IELTS rating. In a paragraph location, you will be given maybe 4, 3, or 5 sentences, and you have to find the exact paragraph that contains the following information. Later, we'll talk about this question type more, but as I said before, if you want to get 8 or 8.5, you can answer this part. But if you only need 7, what I recommend to do is just forget it. All right, forget answering this type of question. You can just answer randomly, all right, and spend your precious time on answering easier questions. If you can spend more time answering easier questions and come up with a correct answer, will be much better than spending your time and wasting your time answering this type of question. All right, that's all. Our next session will be about finding strategies and using some strategies to answer these types of questions that we worked today, right? So this session was just about some basics and fundamentals of IELTS reading, academic reading, and question types. And from next session, we'll work more. We'll delve more into each type of question and finding strategies and techniques to answer questions much better. So until next time, enjoy your time. Stay tuned and goodbye.